name on the participants list is your complete name. So if it's not currently your complete name, we request everyone to change your participant's name right away. And may I also remind everyone that you could always raise your hand during the talk or just type in your questions on the chat box if there's any. So um, I would like also to remind everyone that this is a recorded session and that if you have any, there is going to be a question and answer portion at the end of this talk. So if you have any questions, you may take note of these questions and raise them after the talk, or you may also, again, as mentioned earlier, just send your type in your questions in the chat box, and I will be reading them for the speaker to answer after the talk. Now, after the question and answer portion, I will also be asking you to fill up the evaluation sheet, and then automatically you'll receive your certificate of participation. So again, once again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I'm so happy to see you. Our talk this afternoon is very timely given that we have a lot of challenges and opportunities already, no? Especially challenges way before COVID, and now because of COVID, we are challenged, no, as startups, as students. I can see that most of the participants this afternoon are mostly students who are starting their venture as startups. And you might have questions like, are our problems or concerns right now that there's a pandemic in the Philippines the same as those in other countries now? So because our speaker this afternoon is from India, right? So it's very interesting. All right, so um, I'm not going to I'm not going to um, I'm not going to make this one longer. Now, our speaker for this afternoon is a founder of Saltech Design Labs, which is aimed to innovate, build, and deliver sustainable solutions using research, product design, and engineering. Our speaker has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Guhara Technological University, that's in India, and also as he's also a graduate of social entrepreneurship program from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He also had a lot of achievements, having patented a lot of technologies and innovations. He had a project before in 2014 to 2015 on gravity power module. In 2015 and 2016, he had a third-year group project on human effort generator, as well as a renewable energy grid final year group project in 2016 to 2017. So he is not new as far as innovation and startups are concerned. Now the he's currently the Saltech Design Labs Private Limited Chief Executive Officer, but he also had a lot of work experiences, particularly as a product developer in Sickle Innovation Private Limited, as well as an in-plant trainee in Wanakbori Thermal Power Station. Okay, so without further ado, kindly help me welcome Aditya Shukla.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank
Good
you,
afternoon.
Janice. Thank you.
Welcome.
It was a good introduction. I think all of the participants would have got a little bit of background where I come from. So basically, I'm a mechanical engineer from academics, and I've worked into 2-3 segments over a period of small experience. And soon I started this as a venue. And so, good evening, everyone. Whoever is attending it from Philippines and or rest of the world. Here it is afternoon. So, my name is Aditya Shukla. I am founder and CEO of Saltech Design Labs. And Saltech Design Labs is a company where we established this as a vision to provide sustainable engineering solutions to the most itching problem faced by different starters of human, basically poor and very low income households. And that is where our most of the basic problems we are trying to solve. And one of such problem is to waste management, which is a big issue in India as the growing population is being above more than like 1.2, 1.3 billion people. The waste is growing exponentially with a capacity to double every 15 years. So every 15 years, the per capita waste generation is doubling down in India. And it is most of it is similar to other developing countries such as Philippines or Southeast Asia or other countries into developing nations. So let me brief you about what our company in 3 4 slides, and then we can go into the talk session where you can ask me questions, anything related to entrepreneurship or venture. I will try to answer as per my knowledge and understanding, and forgive me if I'm not able to provide you the right apt answer to your questions. So, so can I share the screen, or can you provide me the access to share the screen?
On it at the moment. Okay, you can now share your slide.
Okay. So So this is what the problem we are trying to solve is of ever growing waste, and that is happening because of very few key reasons, which if you dig down on the topic, you will find out that is happening because of 2 3 main key reasons. One of them is lack of recycling technologies, which can recycle, mix, and more than one type of heterogeneous waste into some kind of product. On the other side is there is lack of market for the recycled products. So what happens is like whatever is being recycled or recovered as a second grade material, it has no market as such of its own. So generally these products go and compete with the virgin grade products into the segment, and due to very minimum price difference, consumer doesn't adopt this kind of products. And basically that is the reason that there is no value chain improvisation in the waste management sector. And what happens is like people are getting very minimum for their effort in terms of incentive and of money. So this is one of the sector where the lack of recycling technology and lack of incentivizing uh, incentivizing schemes are creating more issues than the waste itself. So what happens is like the problem is not in the waste management. The problem is what you do when you recover waste from doing proper waste management. For example, you do a proper waste management, segregating of plastic, other kinds of metals, different kinds of glass, papers, and all. So what you do with those waste defines the whole value chain. For example, if you have recovered some material and you get that material, you sell it into the market, you get some value. So eventually that value will be passed on to the inside the waste management sector over a value chain. The people associated in segment will get some amount of value out of it, and that will define the waste value chain in a proper way. The issue related to that is that currently there is no forward integration modules where you can take this kind of recovered material and make something out. So that's where we are coming in. So our solution is providing transforming waste and lives around the waste. So basically what we do is like use mixed plastic waste as a binding material that is sourced from different industries, waste management companies, or waste pickers, or people working into waste management sector. So rag pickers and different kinds of people. So we pay them on per kg basis. So we collect mixed plastic waste, we utilize them as a binding. So basically these are the waste which are byproducts of the industry, and they have no afterlife use, like corridors, glass waste, ceramic waste, dolomite, fly ash, foundry sand. These are few to name. There are many which have no afterlife use or that are costing disposal to the organizations or the industry. We utilize these waste as an industrial filler, and by combining binder and industrial filler with a patented compatibilizing process, we manufacture them into composite products. So what happens, like these composite products are offering into different kinds of construction and infrastructure segment for different kinds of applications. And if you see how we are unique is in terms of technology, we are reducing 60 to 80% of CO2 emission in the process level. If you compare our technology with other end of disposal life cycle of different kinds of waste or incineration or burning or landfill options, so we are 60 to 80% reducing the CO2 emission. We use 0% water in the product, no cement inside the product for manufacturing into composite construction products. Very low embodied energy for processing per kg of the material. We use mixed in the processing, and we also co-process industrial waste and C&D waste, which right now many few people are trying to achieve but are not able to. In terms of product, we provide high performance property products, very economic price, competitive to concrete and traditional products, can be scaled for mass consumption. And our products are precast and modular in design. So what happens mostly in construction segment, the work on site is directly very costly and is labor intensive and time consuming. So what precast and modular can help us in doing that is it reduces the labor intensive work at site, reducing the cost and construction activity time at the site. So that's the advantage we are providing with the products, and it can be used into multiple applications. If you see the impact which we are providing is, so by preventing different kinds of using different kinds of industrial waste and plastic waste, we are making valuable out of the recovered resources. We are fighting climate change by reducing the carbon emission. So per ton of material we recycle approximately 0.93 metric tons of CO equivalent we are offsetting with our process. And if we talk about employment generation per site we are deploying, we directly employing 16 to 18 people in the manufacturing unit, and we generate alternate employment, second employment up to 60 to 130 people in the waste value chain. On terms of product we are providing into construction and infrastructure segment, our products are 30 to 10 to 30% cost and economical as compared to other products, and we are saving approximately 30 to 50% of construction activity on site, which is like indirectly affecting to the cost reduction of the overall project. Our efforts are very much focused on 8, 9, 11, 13, and 15 sustainable development goals. And our business model is fairly simple. What we have developed technology, we are looking for different kinds of partners into different geographies across the globe where we can provide the turnkey project to them. They can establish a local manufacturing unit. They can take this kind of material waste and different kinds of material from their material recovery facility, smart city, or their urban local bodies, and cut them into products for their own use, self consumption, or supplying it to construction product projects or new infrastructure development projects. So that's what in brief what we do at Tech. So if anybody has question regarding that, they can shoot those questions, and then we can start of the original topic where we are, like opportunity and the challenges uh, in the entrepreneurship, especially when you're starting as a student.
Okay, thank you so much, Aditya. I think that is also a very common issue here in the Philippines. We also have a lot of waste, which are just lying around on the in the landfills, and no one is really looking at it, and they feel that
Okay.
there's no market doing something about it. Unfortunately, I think that's a problem that most countries, especially in Asia, are having issues with. Do we have any questions from
Yeah.
our participants? While they're thinking about their question, maybe I could ask, so what are the challenges that you had when you were starting with this particular company?
Okay. So basically, frankly speaking, first I wanted to establish a waste management company, so something which segregates waste on their type and sell those material into the market as per their requirement or
Mm,
value difference as the traditional waste management company does. And soon we figured out that the actual problem is not associated with the waste who are doing waste management into different segments. The biggest issue they face is in terms of capitalizing on the recovered material. Whatever they segregate, they sort it out from different kinds of waste. They are able to sell only few of the materials or high value materials. Mostly the
right.
material which does not have value or which has very minimum value is abundance into the landfill,
Mm,
and it has huge volume, it requires huge storage, and therefore the economic feasibility does not come into waste management because the volume of material which has very less value is very high, and the volume of material which has high good value is very less. So the economics doesn't match up. There is an imbalance,
mm,
and the issue is how you use this kind of low value high volume material and make something out of it or make capitalize on those recovered material. And that is where we focused on. Rather than developing a waste management company, let's start something which can be forwardly integrated to the other waste management company who are already doing good job, take material from them, make something out of it, put that into market, and start improving the waste value chain, capitalizing on different kinds of low value materials and make something out of it which can be sold into the market. So that's where we started. We shifted from waste management company to a company developing technology for recycling and upcycling of different kinds of waste.
okay, so it seems like you are very successful now, as far as this project is concerned. Congratulations. Do you have any questions
Thank you.
from our audience? I'm sure they're in awe with regards to what kind of innovation you have come up with.
So it took us more than I would guess 3 years, nearly about 3 years to develop project from idea to concept to POC, then validate, then minimum viable product, then put it a demo scale plant, put it into market. Right now also we are struggling to scale the model, but we are trying to connect with different partners across different geography to kind of implement this technology into their segment, and then it can be readily scalable to the different markets.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice. We could learn a lot of things from you.
Sure.
May we encourage our participants to type in your questions if you have any? Most of our participants are students, are also starting with their startups. There's one question.
Okay.
How many tons of trashes do you collect in 1 month?
Okay. So we currently run a 2.5 tons per day unit, a demo scale unit. So that's like 2,500 kg approximately per day. So we run it like 26 days a month. So that's approximately, but we are not running it at 100% due to after COVID situation. There has been many issues regarding the labor work and
Mm,
different kinds of collection and sourcing. So approximately, we have until now recycled more than 160 tons of material. So that's like 160,000 kg of material we have recycled from different sources. And uh, in about, we run 22 to 5 tons per day, per month
per month.
capacity of the plant.
Okay, so in other
Yeah.
words, somehow you are still affected because of COVID. How is COVID in your
Yeah.
country at the moment?
So basically, started imposing lockdown in March, and we were not that much sure that it will be like affecting much. But if you see that India is still a very developing country, we are
Mm,
trying to come up more of a model to manage things. But yeah, so at first there was a lockdown for a straight 2 months, and then very strict lockdown. Then there were partial locks, and it is still taking times to get things again in the same format as they were before. Right now,
Mm.
mostly things are very cash crunch in market, so there is no liquidity as such. mm,
All right.
Compared to before COVID situation. So right now everything is cash and carry. So the credit period and everything which was into the business that we used to take real, we pay back by in a month. We you give material, they pay back in 2 months or 2.5 months like that. Right now
Mm.
everything is on cash and carry basis. So they pay, you pay, then you get the material. They pay, then they get the products. So that is the situation, which makes effectively the buying power of people very less as
Mm.
compared to before.
Yeah.
The new projects are also not right now in such a speed, rapid. So everybody is uncertain whether the second lockdown will come or what is happening. Everybody is waiting for the vaccination.
That's
So soon
right.
as
That's
some
right.
vaccinations come, I think the
Yeah, I think
the
everyone is really
situation will start
affected.
improving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another question from one of our students. What are some example of the valuable products you have made from plastic and industrial waste?
Yeah. So basically what happens like we have made different kinds of product for flooring and pavement applications. So flooring applications, we have made floor tiles. In pavement applications, we have made different kinds of pavlock and different kind of product. Let me share. So what is like this is so this is a garden pavement tiles or a pavement that we have made from the plastic and industrial waste. This is a paver block, which is basically for applications. Then there is a floor tile which we have made from this kind of applications. So there are multiple kinds of product which can be made. Basically, where we have focused ourselves now is into construction and infrastructure segment, and that
Mm.
specifically to the paving and flooring applications. So because are the products which have a high demand or huge scale volume and which does not require that much of appearance wise very like very glossy look is
Yeah.
required in kind of product, because what happens like in construction most of the products are very attractive in visible and appearance, so that is required. But these are the segment we can use this kind of low value material converted to some products, because the products made from recycled material are not able to compete with the new product made from the new material. So
Uh-huh.
eventually you have to settle down and position product in such a way that it can be a good price to value product into the space where you are putting in. And that's the segment where we have gone to pavement, flooring, and wall applications.
Oh, this is very interesting. Actually, in our garden at home, we also made our own DIY pavement, no, and we made it out
Yeah,
of cement and stones. And I think this is a very nice alternative,
exactly.
especially because you are also taking care of your environment, no, while consuming this
Exactly.
kind of products. Yeah. So, is this more cheaper than using cement and sand?
So basically, we supply the product at the same price to the cement concrete products. So
Oh,
we this is price competitive to cement concrete products while providing per properties in the use case. Plus, we do not use any kind of cement or water in the manufacturing in the product. So there is
mm,
no water or cement inside the product.
mm.
Everything is made from waste. 90 to 98% of is involved. So therefore, it is as compared to cost saving over a life cycle. Right now, we are positioning at the same price to the concrete and cement products.
Okay, that's nice. No, so let us know if you want to expand in the Philippines. No, all right. So
Sure.
there are there are questions now with regards to what kind of opportunities you would like to share to our startups, or if there's any opportunity that you've found within your company or outside of your company that you may be able to provide to our startups in the Philippines.
Okay. So basically, one of the segment where we are looking actively is to what we have developed is a technology, and we are looking for adoption of the technology in different partners in different countries, such as we are working with some of the people in African countries, Middle East, Africa, and Middle East. like Kenya, Nairobi, so countries where we can use what we have developed in terms of technology and start working and converting, generating revenue from the liabilities, waste liabilities. So generally, everywhere the waste is a liability which is costing disposal, and with our technology, you can cut that liability into asset which is generating revenue. So
That's right.
that's as such that if you are really interested and you want to something, connect with us. We'll surely help you to establish a unit which can convert waste different kinds of product. There are many more products can be made, and we are open for different markets across the geography.
All right. So, is it what's the process of converting this waste into this products? Is it going to be like, is it not bad for the environment? Is it not like emitting something that is not that is harmful to the
Yeah.
community?
Yeah, understood. So basically what happens like we also use a process of basically a plastic recycling in which there is a melting process is involved. So when the factor associated with the melting is if you do a proper melting process, generally the emission levels are very low. If you start melting the real up to certain level of high degree, then its melting point, then the material starts decomposing. And as soon as the material starts decomposing, it will emit different kinds of SOx, NOx, 2S, different kinds of hazardous environmental people working in the environment, especially. So what happens is like we do a process in which the emission levels are really as and we follow very strict Central Pollution Control Board norms in terms of recycling parameters. So the levels of emissions are very low, and still we use in kinds of flue gas scrubber to kind of treat those gas and then emit into the environment. That's one. Second thing, we are not doing any kind of incineration or burning inside the process. So we are not emitting any gas which is very hazardous, harmful to the nature. Third, we are making sure that we are not utilizing certain categories of plastic specifically.
Okay.
Even come, we can use that, but specifically we are not recycling PVC, that is
All right.
polyvinyl chloride. So what happens is like if you try to recycle them, generally they emit chlorine gas, which is very hazardous and cause you nausea, distress, and then effectively over a period of time it can like give you different of more chronological diseases. So therefore what happens is like we have made in such a way that the process is not that much emitting pollution. Still we are taking care of the rest of the gases which is coming out the scrubbing unit, and then we are making sure that the emissions are way below the level of which are provided by pollution authorities in our country or in any other country. So we follow those things while developing the whole full turnkey project or manufacturing unit for anybody.
Okay, that's nice. So what's that's one of the essence of coming up with a startup, providing jobs to the community and making sure that you are not being harmful to the environment. All right. So so how do you filter out
Yeah.
this waste? Do you do it manually or is do you have an automatic sorter mechanism for this?
Basically, what we do is like take waste from already existing waste management organizations. So
Mm,
they are doing it with different kinds of sorting system they have, or they are doing it manually as per their infrastructure availability. But we are taking waste directly from them, so we are paying them for the waste. So we eventually what we are doing is we are creating incentivizing and creating employment in the backward of the sector. We are not putting ourselves into the segregation. What we are doing is we are putting ourselves in the form of that organization, taking waste
right.
from them,
Mhm.
utilizing them, making them into product and selling them into the market. So that is what I did not wanted to replicate the effort of any waste management organization, such as segregating, sorting, and all. What
Yeah.
we wanted to do was to develop a technology to take that waste, make something out of it, and sell it into market.
Yeah, that's right. You're not being a competitor here. You're being a partner to these companies.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Thank you. Um, are there any other questions? I guess there are no other questions from the panel, from the audience. Is there anything else you want to share?
So basically, I have three questions. How do you maximize your production, especially in the times of pandemic? So what I will tell you is it really depend on the type of demand and supply model which are coming in. So for example, if you have a high demand of product coming in, you will eventually go on to see the supply where you can source most of the material and make ramp up the production. That is one part. Second part is how you understand your economics of work over a scale. For example, you running a 1 ton unit per day, and you see that on 1500, like 1.5 unit per day, you are reducing a cost by this much, like certain percentage, which can give you benefit in terms of improving margins. So you go by improving your production by that much in order to get more margin and try to sell that much of product into the market. It is as simple. The second question is, with the technology you created, are you still working on improving it? Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who has developed something needs to continuously improve and develop some versions of it over a period of time. Otherwise, the technology just as it is will not be applicable 2 year, 3 year down the line. So what we are doing is right now in version 2.0, we are broadening the of filler. So we are going from organic to non-organic, all kind of waste. We are making them into carbon residue and utilizing them as a filler into plastic composites. So basically, instead of industrial waste only, we are improving, we are broadening the area where we can take different kinds of organic waste, unsorted solid waste, municipal waste, as well as industrial waste, and make products out of it. So that's the version where we are doing.
The
Where do
last
you
question.
see the company in five
In 5
years?
years.
So basically, yeah. So it's a very tough question. It's very hard to give answer at this point. But yeah, what I want to go is I want to go into 100 smart cities across the globe in 5 years with the technology we have built.
Oh, that's right. Hopefully, Philippines will be one of them.
Sure,
Okay, we can probably pilot it here in Dumaguete. We've got lots of waste already. All
sure,
right, so thank you so much. I guess there are no other questions.
sure.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for that very interesting presentation. We would like to connect further with you and discuss other opportunities as well. Thank you. At this
Thank
point
you.
of
Thanks for providing the opportunity.
Thank you so much also for accepting our invitation. So at this point, I would like to present the electronic version of our certificate. Um, Lawrence, could you please flash the certificate of appreciation for our speaker? Okay, so the certificate of recognition, which we will email you after this talk, is proudly presented to Engineer
Sure.
Aditya Shukla for sharing his expertise as session speaker about the topic opportunities and challenges in building a startup during the Synergy TBI E-talk session held on December 16 at 5 p.m. via Zoom. So thank you so much. That's signed by yours truly, Janice Forster, as the TBI manager. Aditya, I hope this is not the last time that we're able to connect with you. Hopefully in the future, you will still accept our
No,
invitation.
no.
Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
so much. All right.
Happy
So
to.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So for our participants this afternoon, thank you so much for being with us. And we would very much appreciate if you could answer our evaluation after this. There will be an announcement of further e-talks in the future. We will let you know through our group chats and through our page. So please take a few moments to fill up the evaluation survey. You can find the link on your screen. Please enter your email address properly so you will receive your certificate correctly or on time. Again, thank you so much for staying with us this afternoon. And I know you learned something. Thank you.